Sir, an individual has been calling 911 for the last 4 hours. It's one of those nights when the police are simply putting callers on hold. One of those nights. Too many of those still. Batman diverts to the rundown tenement block where the call came from. The locals are surprised to have the Batman answer their 911 call. The victim's Vince from 4C. They haven't been able to break the door down, but the smell's a giveaway. Vince didn't have many people in his life. A social worker, an office lady, a personal friend. The main people looking out for him now, though, are his neighbors. Batman tells them to head back inside while he takes care of Vince. Alfred identifies the dead guy as Vincent William Stanek. Batman bypasses the lock, entering to find a corpse on the bed and endless Batman news clippings taped up to the peeling away walls. Stanek's face is in bad shape, half the skin seemingly peeled away. Batman withdraws a small device from his belt, scanning the room so he can examine it later. This could be 5 years of material. Hands have been cleaned. Sink is cleaned. The killer sanitized the scene. Nothing I can take a print or touch DNA off. Batman calls in the deaths to the GCPD before heading home. Alfred's got his feet up, drinking whiskey. Bruce pours himself something non-alcoholic, asking what's bothering his butler. Me? You? Us? This? Some nights, all I see is an old soldier helping a very rich man to leave his mansion at night in his expensive car to visit horrible beatings on poor people. That's not what we do, Alfred, isn't it? Impoverished people forced into crime or suborned by gangsters with not 100th of your own resources. They have choices. It'd be easier just to kill them all. Bruce can't stay. He's still gotta work out what happened to Vince Stanek. Alfred pours himself another drink. You immerse yourself in the dead, Master Bruce, and you come back each time a little less alive. The only thing your grave is missing is a date. Bruce walks into a featureless room, scanning the device. After a second's flickering light, he's back in the apartment. Bruce took a file Stanek was compiling from the scene. It's full of details on Batman. Vincent William Stanek. Left the Gotham City District Attorney's Office 5 years ago, following a mental breakdown. Was obsessing over the Batman what did it? Or was it just a symptom? Did I break you? No. He's starting to get into Stanek's head now. The Batman obsession came after the breakdown. Gotham's justice system is a high-stress job. The Batman gave Vince stability. Bruce starts describing the fallen DA's actions as though he was Stanek. The Batman has a clear plan, even though he's outside the system. Stanek empathized. This was a way to get his life back. I get up every day and I dress as if I'm going into the office. I check every thought for signs of damage, tracking my return to normal life. And as part of that, he made a friend, Ed. Stanek bought an extra coffee cup for when he visits. Ed was supposed to come with a good luck gift. Bruce can feel his shadow lurking. Ed was Stanek's best friend, his best friend, and the killer. I fought. Of course I fought. I'd just gotten my life back. I was your friend. You killed me, but I was your friend. The murderer's pattern is very specific. He's a serial killer, but there's no sign of trophy taking. Bruce glances around the room. Then the illusion fades away. Batman gasps. He has it. He races out of the hologram chamber. Alfred's already gone to bed. Bruce drives back to Vince Stanek's apartment as Batman, heading straight up the stairs to 4C. The police sealed it off. Batman shoulder checks the door, barging into the room. You were my friend. You didn't take anything, except my life. And I know why. You couldn't take the bed you sat on. You couldn't take the feeling with you. He's brought up the floorboards, looking down. Eduardo Flamingo grins up at the dark night, blood still on his lips. He leaps towards Batman, splintering the apartment flooring as he swings. A quick snap kick catches the bat off guard, knocking him away. So lonely. Flamingo tries to follow up with a right hook, but this time, Batman dodges. He lands a strong left to the killer's jaw, but Flamingo takes it, following with a punch of his own. A kick to the jaw, nothing. Another punch, no effect. Flamingo wrestles the Dark Knight back to the wall. Try harder to make me feel something. Batman tries to pull the killer into a hold, but Flamingo throws his opponent to the floor like a rag doll, vaulting in the air to try and land a hefty blow. He brings both hands down right on Batman's face, smashing him into what little remains of the floorboards. He raises his hands, ready for another blow, but a kick from Batman to his gut forces him back. Bruce follows with a second kick to the man's jaw, giving him time to pull a batarang and throw it across the room, landing a shot to Flamingo's shoulder. Now free to move, Batman retrieves a grenade from his utility belt and throws it across the room. The smoke bomb has enough force to knock the Flamingo back, and it gives Batman his opening. He leaps for the man, punching him with all the force he's got. Feel that? GCPD HQ. The Batmobile pulls up. Officers. He dumps the Flamingo out of the car. One of the cops starts to pull his pistol. I have had a bad morning. If you're going to make a move, make it. They don't. They just stare at Batman as the hood of his car comes down. Alfred's nursing a hangover by the time Bruce gets back. Neither of the men are doing well, between Batman's fight and Alfred's drinking. Still, they have each other, and a pot of coffee to share. The two smile at each other. I've had the most splendid idea. Tonight, you stay at home and drink an entire bottle of 70% proof whiskey, and I'll put on a suit and slap around some underprivileged burglars. Bruce is actually hoping for a quiet night after everything that's happened. But by the time night falls, Commissioner Gordon's on the roof lighting up the bat signal. A hero's work is never done. He and Batman touch base on the Flamingo, but Gordon called him here over a man called Robert Turton. Batman knows the name. Corrupt assistant DA who ended up making big money as a defense lawyer. The GCPD's busy, but Bobby has friends, and his death was weird, hence Gordon asking Batman to look into it. One look at the data makes it clear Gordon was right. This death was supposed to be a suicide, but the gun was in Turton's right hand. The man was left-handed. Might still be pretty simple by Batman standards, but Gordon's always busy. Bruce can work this one out for him. Batman's soon on the tail of Turton's finances. There's one mysterious payment that catches his eye and needs further attention. Are you using evil computer skills to commit financial crimes against dark capitalism, Master Bruce? Yes. There's hope for you yet. Turton was paying out lawsuit money. His mob income was slowing down. The best hidden transaction, though, is the saddest. He was hiding his psychiatrist bill. It'll take the Batcomputer time to get more, so for now, Bruce heads out to Turton's home to dig in person. A McMansion. Of course. Can't buy taste. The halls are silent as Batman walks into the home, passing by a portrait of Bobby Turton next to Jesus. The crime scene's been left untouched, Turton's blood still on his desk. But as Batman observes, there's an odd pattern to the blood splatter. A device on the desk's been moved. Soon enough, he's brought it back to the Batcave. The thing's a lexicon, LexCorp's answer to the Alexa. Alfred's staggered that people would buy a device that can spy on them like that. Bruce admits Wayne Tech tried to do the same. You wanted to put computers that watch and listen into people's homes. Of course you did. While Bruce was off picking that up, the Batcomputer's finished off its enhanced autopsy. Turton had a bunch of drugs in him. Alfred recognizes one as a Novichok nerve agent, used to amplify the potency of something else the old lawyer was taking. Bruce identifies the extra herb as peyote, a hallucinogen designed to make someone suggestible, and it was prescribed to Turton. Moreover, the lexicon had been hacked. Someone else was sending commands to the lexicon, making it say some new phrases. Do what's right. Be right with the world. Good right hand. Bruce goes off to think. Robert Turton. Bobby. Everyone calls me Bobby. Even without the hologram, Bruce can feel himself falling into Turton's shoes. He's back in the study, anxious and stressed. He's been prescribed a bunch of expensive drugs by his psychiatrist, and he's not getting better. He feels like his psychiatrist is ripping him off. I cut my psychiatrist off, but I'm finishing out my last course of pills, because I paid good money for them, and you never know, right? I have a gun in my desk. I'm full of a drug that makes me crazy and susceptible. The lexicon talks to me. I'm left-handed, but I have to do what's right. Be right with the world. I was supposed to kill myself, but I did what I was told. To the letter. I used my good right hand. Dr. Carl Helfern, Bobby Turton's psychiatrist, is talking on the phone while 3 goons hang back in his office, killing time. Well, are you going to send help? If I'm not allowed to... Wait. No, you get us out of here. I'm not going to go meekly along. I am not going to prison. And just like that, the lights go dead. The door down the hall is blown off its hinges. Helfern yells at his thugs to keep Batman out of his office. Before they can reach the door, though, a second explosion hits the wall, knocking a bunch of rubble towards the thugs. 2 more grenades are chucked into the room. They explode in a blinding flash, the 3 thugs reeling as Batman glides down into the room. He knocks the armored goon away with a devastating kick, before punching the guy with a blade back over the sofa. Elbow to the back of armored guy's neck to make him stay down. Tank Top comes swinging, but Batman goes for a jump kick, hitting him right in the side of the head. That's all 3. Just the doc left. Be right with the world. Helfern sprays Batman at point-blank range with some golden chemical. But Batman turns the gas gun away like it's nothing. The psychiatrist drops his mask and takes his hand off the trigger, shocked. Dr. Helfern, I presume. Suddenly, Armor jumps up, trying to grab at Batman. The Dark Knight still has the gas gun and fires it right into the minion's face. Tank Top's up next, while Helfern's reaching for something in his desk. He tries to lunge at Batman, but one well-placed punch knocks him down again. Batman puts a foot to Armor's jaw, wanting to ensure he's knocked out. Now, though, Tank Top and Blades are both up. They come at Batman together, hitting him at the same time. The Bat downs Tank Top with an elbow, blocking the Blade stroke with a gauntlet. He kicks Blades away, but Tank Top is back on his feet, trying to pull on Batman's cowl. That gives the detective a chance to gouge at his eyes. Blades is back on the offensive with both weapons this time. Batman manages to block, but Helfern's run into the fight, sporting a syringe this time. A twist of Batman's arm is enough to deflect it, the needle landing into a wall instead. Helfern goes for another syringe as Batman turns back to Blades, kicking him right in the jaw. Soon enough, the Doctor has a second, but before he can take another step towards the fight, Batman plants a batarang right through his hand. Blades is still on the attack, trying to cut the Dark Knight's head off, but before he can, Tank Top accidentally pulls Batman away. That gives Bruce just enough distance to dodge the next knife blow, and a kick to the back of the knee brings down Tank Top. Now Batman's got Blades' hand, and the thugs lost his remaining weapons. The goon takes one last swing at the Dark Knight. He grins. Are you done? Arm break, kick to the groin, leg hold, into a strike to the back of the head. Blades is down. Kill you. Who would you? Just shut up. Only Helfern seems to be left conscious. Batman glances across the room. Armor is starting to get back up. A boot to the head deals with that problem. Now, only the Doctor's left. This is what I don't get. You were extorting Torton. He finally cut you off, so you made him kill himself, when you could simply have found another way to blackmail or control him. Why? My instructions changed. What are you? What are you worth? What do you achieve? You're nothing. The Scorn Army will have your eyes. And I am not going to tell you anything else. Batman calls it into the emergency services. One more dead end. But now he has a name. The Scorn Army. And there's one more person who could be tied to this. Batman's next stop is Arkham. Thanks to Gordon's cooperation, he can talk with Flamingo. The face-eating killer is happy to see the Bat, calling him a new friend. The detective asks about the Scorn Army, and Flamingo's happy to talk. They paid him to make friends with Vince. Flamingo asks to stay in Arkham in return for sharing the name of his employer. Gordon agrees, heading off to talk with the DA. In the meantime, give me a name now. It won't affect your deal. I'm not a police officer. It'd be just like you were telling a friend. Well, since you put it like that, I will. Before he can, however, an orderly reaches into his pocket, revealing an arm tattoo as he pulls a handgun and shoots Batman in the back. Flamingo looks on stunned. The killer can't even get out a word before the killer puts a round into his head. Gordon rushes into the room, but the assassin already has his weapon drawn, pointed right at the commissioner. Before he can kill him, however, Batman's back on his feet, wrestling the gun away and forcing the shot to hit the orderly in the knee. Taking advantage of the thug's pain, Batman smashes the killer's head back against the cell wall before pulling him away and body slamming his foe right through the table. Batman and Gordon are both okay. but they just lost their lead on the Scorn Army. Next day's sunrise comes with an unwelcome surprise on the news. The GCPD's crime scene unit lost its head, Dr. Daniel Kaysen. Gordon's already at the scene. He got rid of the reporters, and Batman's got about 15 minutes before the police investigators show up. The door was unlocked. Danny Kaysen was paranoid, so that was probably the killer leaving the building. Gordon's surprised at this. Danny had a lot of security technology. Even Batman can't spot the security cameras, but Gordon's convinced he had them. They're just that well hidden. Dr. Kaysen's corpse is on his bed, a gun next to him. Batman's first question is simple. Why not kill him outside? This house is supposed to be secure. Why not kill me before he opened the front door? You mean him? Batman rolls with the mistake smoothly. He's already worked out the point. This was trying to make a statement, show him and Gordon nowhere's safe. He wants a little time alone to think this through, which Gordon's happy to give him. I'm paranoid. I have a digitally secured house. I enter, and I go into the bedroom? Kaysen fired at the killer from the bed while he was lying down on it. The killer was waiting in the living room, not here. So he came looking for me. I ran for the gun, grabbed it, and... Wait. The drawer's open, but the pillow's disturbed too. One of them's from Kaysen grabbing the gun. Why the other? Batman checks the pillow. There's a smart button under it. The doctor ran for this and his gun. He knew the assassin was coming. The detective takes a second look at the display. Confirm the exact time, please. 6:13 a.m. and 23 seconds, sir. A minute off. That was enough to tell Kaysen something was wrong. He ran for the gun and button, but it wasn't an alarm. So what did it do? Gordon and Batman leave the scene together. Batman thinks the button uploaded camera footage somewhere. Gordon figures the intruder must have defeated the cameras, but Batman's got faith in Kaysen. Still, he warns Gordon. The Scorn Army's targeting law enforcement. You should put your entire department on alert. We live on alert. You know what I mean. Anything could happen next. Yeah. A bunch of onlookers watch incredulously as Batman walks around the block to meet his Uber. Please don't forget to rate your driver on the app. Just drive. This is not Batman's finest hour. The Scorn Army timed that blast. They're toying with him. Still, soon enough, he's back at the Batcave, ready to work. A professional would expect hidden cameras, so Kaysen had two sets. One designed as a decoy for intruders to disable, and a second one to catch them out. In no time, Bruce has the footage from the external server, and the Bat computer is working on a mugshot. Everything's going well. Right? Sir? It's just bruising, Alfred. Don't fuss. Now, though, they have the news. The Scorn Army's torched the GCPD building. They've got thugs menacing the streets now. But Batman has an ID on the doctor's killer. Colonel Sulphur, an ex-Special Forces guy turned mercenary. Thanks to Kaysen's home security, Batman's got the identifier on his cell phone. He can track Sulphur. And this time, he's bringing a bat tank to the party. That can keep the Scorn Army's thugs busy, and with Alfred controlling it remotely, the Colonel won't know Batman's coming. Daybreak, a cheap apartment complex. Colonel Sulphur is entering the house of his next target. He pulls a gun and slowly walks towards the open bedroom door. When a powerful light flares from outside, Batman's here, riding some kind of hover drone. He points some new kind of launcher at the Colonel. One shot is enough to grab the assassin, coiling wires around him and wrenching the killer out of the apartment. The next thing Colonel Sulphur knows, he's tied to a chair, his feet resting in a block. Batman's hooked the man up to an electrical generator. He's done playing around. He wants to know where Sulphur was supposed to meet his employer, or else he'll turn the power on and fry Sulphur's legs. The Colonel tries to play tough, calling it an empty threat. No dice. Batman isn't budging, and with Sulphur still refusing to talk. Soon enough, the Dark Knight has what he needed. He is not impressed by Sulphur. Still, he didn't actually fry the guy's legs. The device was just designed to cause him pain. He's done with the mercenary now. Next stop, the Gotham City docks. A man is waiting alone by the harbor, sporting the same Mark Flamingo's assassin hat. Scorn is here, in full armor, waiting for the Colonel. Sulphur isn't coming. Shockingly, Scorn asks Batman to stop. He doesn't want to fight the Dark Knight, but his men are killers. Batman won't let that slide. Scorn makes it clear he's just targeting law enforcement. Batman won't be on his list until he gets in the way. But that's now. It's over. Don't make this harder than it has to be. It's funny. I imagine Sulfur saying the same thing to me. I was ready for him, so I guess I'm ready for you. One press on his controller and a bunch of small devices in the puddle nearby flick to life. Scorn runs as Batman grapples up towards his drone. The Dark Knight chucks a grenade towards the fleeing villain. It hasn't even hit the ground by the time Scorn's massive bomb engulfs the whole dock in fire. Scorn keeps running as Batman's grenade explodes into a swarm of bat flechettes. Unfortunately, the force of the blast knocked Batman's grapple out of his hands. He's falling towards the ground, a storm of rubble and debris crashing down around him. There's a deathly silence as the wreckage settles, interrupted only by the crackling fire. Then, slowly, Batman pulls himself back up. He emerges from the rubble, looking around the devastated dock. He pulls a piece of rubble away, looking for some time. One of the bat flechettes he tried to hit Scorn with, and it's got blood on it. The GCPD, meanwhile, have found Colonel Sulfur. Gordon and a couple of his detectives are examining the unconscious man. One of the cops offers Gordon a chance to take a walk. Before he's got 10 feet away, she's whispering to her friend. This guy killed Danny Kaysen. He just escaped and got a gun, so they had to defend themselves, right? Batman's reached the Bat Tank, asking Alfred to use the remote control to drive him home. The big vehicle rumbles away from the still-growing fire, Batman finally taking this chance to get a little rest. As he goes, the scene outside is chaos. Scorn's symbol's been spray-painted on the wall. Rioters are attacking the GCPD. Their main office is on fire. Once Bruce is back, he and Alfred discuss Scorn getting more chaotic and sloppy. Bruce leaves to go clean up. He's alone now. Nothing but the cold water and his thoughts. He can remember wrestling with the flamingo, having his head slammed into the wall. He looks up, trying to put it out of his mind. The scene keeps going. Batman's been through a lot these last few days. Even here, he just keeps seeing images of his own pain, his own death. He reaches out a hand to steady himself. How many times could he have died just fighting the Scorn army? Smashed in the head, shot in the back. Broken, broken, broken. Bruce falls to the shower floor. All those times he's put himself in the mind of a victim, the mind of someone about to die. Now that's him. Slowly, he gets back to his feet and checks his hand. There's blood on it, despite his body not having a single wound. Bruce looks down as more of his blood starts to trickle towards the shower gutter. His death isn't far off now. Bruce can see it coming, just like Wolverine did.